is the Maggie Guy Show.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Facebookers. Hey, YouTubers. Hey, wherever you may catch this show, okay? I don't know. You may catch it on some other platform that I am not aware about of. And if that's the case, hey, great. It's all about getting you informed and helping you navigate in your singlehood. So this is the Maggie Guy Show. My name is Maggie and Guy. Yeah. And this is our ongoing series, The Joys and the Woes of Singlehood. And today is part two, y'all. Two. Okay, enough of the goofiness. Yeah, part two of mistakes singles make. Okay, if you missed last week's show, you want to get over to YouTube. It's on there. It's ready to go. It's for you there to just listen in, and you may learn a thing or two, or you may even school us, because this thing, people, we want y'all to make a comment. Put a comment on there, on the comment section and all that, and let us know what are the mistakes, because these are not in any order. We're just here to have that panel discussion, as you can see, and I'm joined by my contributors, my panelists on here. I've got Minister Israel. Will give you first shout out, because we missed you so much last week. He was on groomsman duty. He looked so fly, this man. Oh my God, yeah. Minister Israel, welcome back, sir. Say something, say hello to us.
Hello. Thank you for having me here. It's good to be back home.
Awesome. Yes, sir. It's great to have you here. Indeed, this is home. Awesome. And of course, like I like to call her, baby of the family. But my God, there is nothing baby about this young woman's wisdom, nothing babyish about the way she thinks. I just thank God for, okay, this is just a smart young woman on fire for God, and you can tell, you can always tell what people are like when you hear them speak. After all, scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And this one has a lot of godly wisdom. We thank God for you, Adam, all the way in China. Go on, Adam, say hey to everybody for us.
Hello.
Hey. Thank you. We're going to hear from you in a bit. Guys, we're jumping straight into tonight's show, okay? And we are unpacking, like I said, part two of the mistakes singles make. Again, part one is over on YouTube land. Please go there, subscribe to the channel, follow. There is an amazing long series, if I say so myself. Like literally end of September, we'll make it 1 year that we've been running this series, and it's amazing content on there. We've had amazing guests, and I'm not gonna try and go back into that, but hey, let's do what we do. So tonight we are kicking off. I'm going to kick us off, people of God. One of the mistakes that singles make, you can call this number 6 or number 7. I think last week's show we stopped at number 6. So this would be number 7, people of God. I'm kicking it off. Okay. Number 7 mistake I think singles are making is when they succumb to pressure, internal pressure, external pressure. So this is where let's say aunties and uncles, family members be like, now that you're 35, when you gonna get married? Now that you're 40, when are you getting, no, it's not even when are you getting married. We need to marry you off now, sort of thing.
Give me a grandchildren.
Yes.
I don't know for others, maybe our grandparents, grandfather, that they don't usually mind the pressure, or maybe it's not obvious. But from grandmother, they're always on your toes. I need a grandchild. I need you to give me a baby, But from my perspective, I believe life is full of pressure. There are pressures everywhere, right? So you don't have a job, there is pressure. You don't have money, there is pressure. I mean, there is pressure all over the places. So if you succumb to pressure that people say you're not married, you're not engaged, if you succumb to their pressure, I want to tell you that some people are in relationship and they're still battling with some form of pressure. Some people are married, there is pressure. Some people get married. Another pressure is, I need my first child. Some people actually have their first child. The pressure right now is second child. Like, life is full of pressure. So you don't fall into pressure that people say, oh, you need to go get married. No, just calm down, right? I believe that each and every one of us needs to have peace with God. We should be able to iron out things with God, and they'll know what timing is, right? So you don't do things because people say you should go and do it. You don't do that because as a matter of fact, you are the one going into the marriage. You are the one going into this relationship. People are not going to do it with you. Your parents will not marry they might only suggest, but they're not going to be in the marriage with you. You are the one that will face your cross. You're the one bearing this cross alone, right? So I believe that much more than what people will say, third party, parents, pastor, mentors, in some cases, no matter what they're going to suggest to you, you are the one that should make the decision, because every choice you make has consequences, and you are the one that's going to bear the consequences, not the people suggesting for you.
I totally agree. There are consequences beyond just, it's not just that day. And I think what we have made a thing about, especially we miss Apostle Sharon, and I always like her to come in and bring in the African American perspective, because I always say, listen, the heart of it all, listen, I'm still African. I'm a Kenyan girl, okay? And I'm still Kenyan. Oh my God. Okay. So I like to bring that perspective, and being East African, you guys being West African, we kind of like get a bit of the flavors from both ends of Africa, if you like, sort of thing. And I'm thinking it's not just a thing like in West Africa, it's also in East Africa. Now it's a thing. Even Southern Africans, it's a thing where society is dictating to women. Okay, maybe, and I feel like women have more pressure on them than the man. Right? Y'all agree, right? So it's the woman, like you said, bring that, we need the grandchildren. And when they say that, I think for that woman, it's that society thing. And our society as an African society, we almost make people feel like they are incomplete when they hit a certain age and they do not have the family unit.
Some form of achievement.
It's considered some form of achievement. Like the woman could be highly educated. She could be even like a doctor, or maybe even a surgeon, doing life-saving surgeries and things like that. But if she's unmarried, there's gonna be a problem. All that, they'll still be like a bit of that. They'll be like, okay, well, that's good. You have this job, but when are you still gonna get married? Well, you're not gonna marry your job. Well, your job cannot give you children. Well, your certificate is not. Oh my God! So we get that too. And I know it's that way. You only got to watch some of these Nigerian videos, and and they portray that so well. You see it there. Minister Israel, just touch on a little bit with the whole thing on internal pressure, because so we just dealt with the external pressure, but the truth of the matter is a single person can have that internal pressure themselves. And I think Pastor Mimi pointed that out when we talked about the waiting room.
Yeah, so I believe that really there is pressure, because by the time you want to see that, hey, these are the guys that you went to school together, you graduated, and a lot of them, I mean, there are some of your mates that have their first child, their second child, like they literally, if you try to measure it physically, they have everything in place, they are doing well, and you're sick, nobody is asking you out. I'm like, so sometimes a lot of pressure, you tend to look at it that way. But I need you to know that in this journey of life, right, there's no timetable. We're not working on, we're not using timetable for each other. If that makes, everybody has their own timing, right? Yes. So the most important thing is just settle peace with God. Because if you don't have peace with God, you will there will be anxiety on you. You want to do that. But make sure you have your peace with God. Why am I referring to God? Because God is the one that created you, and God actually doesn't work with time. God exists, like He exists. He lives in eternity. Right? So our future, our past, our present is in His palm. He's looking, He has everything mapped out. Right? So if you do that and sort that with God, I believe you'll be good, because God can make things happen. Like there are some things that people might have started 20 years ago, and you might just start your own this year, and you are still meeting up, right? Yes. So God has a way of doing things. So just make sure you settle your peace with God, and don't use any yardstick, please. Don't say because your friend is doing that, or this another person is doing that, you want to mount pressure on yourself. Just chill, right? Trust God. Just trust God, and they just walk accordingly. I mean, we have the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is our comforter. He will always tell you things to do. He will always tell you how to do things. Just analyze and sort things out with God, because really, if you are to measure physically, I mean, there's a lot of pressure. But you need the spiritual, you need your spiritual connection to level up the physical pressure that is coming at you. So you always be seeing it, but you are confident that, God is still on His throne. And I mean, He have your interest at heart. And so it's just a matter of time. And so, I mean, no matter what is happening, God still got you. And that's your hope. That's the confidence you have.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will jump in by saying this, right? The Bible talks about comparison, and it says that it's only fools that compare themselves together. So
those that compare themselves to themselves are not wise.
I know why. So that's to tell you that God does not even expect you to compare yourself. I had something recently this week, and the man said that for you to know that your own time is up, that means you must have been the custodian of time. And in all true essence, you never been the custodian of time. It is Jesus that is the custodian of time. So you just really setting yourself up for, you're just deliberately inflicting yourself pain when you do that, when you compare and say, this person has gone ahead, this person has gone ahead and everything. What if God is trying to save the best for the last? The greatest wife always come after the party. When the party has ended, that's when they decide the greatest wife. Come on, calm down. And I want to say something, that nobody makes the right decision by being in that place of unrest, in the place of pressure. When you check through the scriptures, okay, maybe not.
Say that again, Adam. Hold on. I have to get you to say that again, because you just dropped a bomb of knowledge right there. You're just about to deliver somebody. Nobody does what? Nobody makes a right decision when they're what?
When they are in pressure, when they are coming from a place of pressure.
No one makes the right decision when they're under pressure. Amazing.
Yeah, when you're under. So, why I'm saying that is that even when you look at the story of Jacob and Esau was under pressure to eat. That's why he went for, you understand? That's why he sold his birthright. It was just so he wanted. If you look at the story of Sarah, she was under pressure. She wanted to make it, happen for God. And God doesn't want you to make it happen for Him. God will make it happen by Himself. So if you know that you are banking on God, bank on God. If you know that you are banking on yourself, bank on yourself. So if you are putting God to work, then that means that you have to take rest. If you are the one that is working, know that God has to take rest.
Woo! Whoa, that's deep. That's deep, Adam. You just said something that, for the benefit of that one that didn't hear you, you just said, if you are banking on yourself, then bank on yourself. But if you're banking on God, then bank on God, and then allow God to work and not you try to work. Because if you're going to work, then God's going to take a rest. And if you want God to work, then you take the rest.
I would say that, you know, that scripture in Hebrews says something about working to enter into the rest of God. Like, you literally have to work to enter the rest of God. And that work that is talking about is you working on your unbelief, working on the fact that you don't trust God enough, working on the fact that, you know, these internal pressures, this competition, that's the work it's talking about, to enter into the rest of God. In fact, that scripture continues to say something like, because of unbelief, some people cannot enter into the rest that God has asked for them. So that's why I said that if you trust God, just trust God. If you don't trust God,
then leave
do
it
it
alone.
yourself. So, so it is what it is. So, see, pressures, there will always be pressure in this life. You cannot outgo a season of pressure, because in that next season you are even entering into, there's another pressure waiting for you. Now you're praying to God that you want to enter into a relationship because your friends are in a relationship. Fine. When you enter into a relationship, you start praying to God that you want to get married. You start pressuring the guy, you know, this type of ring I like and everything. Then when you get married again, you start asking God for children. Then after the children again, you start asking God for the finances for the children. Everything is pressure. So just relax and let God take you on that journey. Amen.
Awesome. Love it. Minister Israel, do you want to bring in another mistake that you think singles are making in this journey?
All right. So one of these things is trying to use sex, right? One of the mistakes singles make is trying to use sex as a yardstick to keep one, like you're not married, or you're using sex as like an alibi to keep them. Maybe you want to take hold of them, that okay, maybe when you introduce sex, that means the relationship is proved, is certified, and so they're with you. They're not going anywhere. But that is completely wrong. From my perspective, I believe that sex is addictive. I think it's one of those things that is very addictive.
Right.
It's better for you to just stay off. If you stay off, I think you have much power to resist it. But once you go into it, then you because once you go into it, you always desire it. And I get to know this for some guys, because guys always share their experiences. So once they go into it for the first time, it looks good, they want to do it again. And so by the time, that's why you say, by the time they do it with, say, a fair lady, they want to do it with a black lady. By the time they try a black lady, they always want to emphasize again, let me try with maybe this tribe, that tribe. So we get to know that sex is very addictive. So it's better you don't even go into it. Then even from the Christian point of view, we are asked not to do that. Like, don't even start it. Don't start what you cannot finish. Actually, you cannot finish it, right? So God is the one that created sex. We know that no matter what the world is trying to sell to us, we know that God created. But God has an agency for it, and that's the agency of marriage. Isn't it? Of marriage. That. So, but if you give out sex to anybody, I'm telling you that you've set yourself cheap. Because if you can
sold yourself cheap. I love that.
If you give them sex, they will let you know that, if you can give me, it therefore means that you can give anybody, right? And if your trust level will diminish, they will try to doubt that no matter how I force you to give me sex, if you can give me sex, it therefore means that someone outside can force you and you're going to give it to them. So sex is a no-no really, because it's addictive. You will always do it. That's just the truth.
Yeah. You know, it reminds me of something that I saw on, I'm not sure if it was Facebook or Instagram. Anyway, it was on social media, and it was Judge Lynn, and she said something.
Never do wife duties at girlfriend prices. I don't care what you do. I do not believe in that.
She said, ladies, she does not believe in doing wife duties on girlfriend prices. You should know what that means. You know, the one that we hear often is, why buy the cow when I can get the milk for free and all that. You know, we get that. But that's the thing. If you're trying to have sex with that guy or that woman, just so you can keep them, and maybe you feel like, oh yeah, we're going to develop into marriage. No, you're not. Chances are you are not. You're not. You're just going to, mess things up. And hey, and when that is involved, so now the emotions are involved, and you can't even discern or even decipher the real person, because now your vision, you're seeing through that lens, aren't you? It's blurred. It's not clear. I love that. So singles, if you think giving him some will make him stay with you, just stay on course. Adam, jump in, honey.
If you are having sex, please let it just be because you also want the fun, not because you think that somebody is going to stay with you because you had sex with them. The game has changed. The game in the market right now has changed. So you understand. So try not to do that, because you just setting yourself up for nothing. I think that it's best you allow people make decisions when they have a clear edge. Yeah. Like not when there's emotions, there's activities, there is, almost raging and everything. Let them make decisions when they have a clear edge. It's not the type of thing that you go and have sex with them, and after the sex you'll be saying that, what are we?
No.
You are not here. You are not here.
There is no us. Just because we slept together, there is no us. And that's so true. That is so true.
What are we? Just an official adulterer or fornicator.
Really, that's really what you are. That's really what you are. Adam, do you want to bring in another mistake? I love that. Thank you, Minister Israel, for that. Adam, what's a mistake you think singles are making?
I think the fact that we singles want everything already made. We don't want to put in the work. We just want the perfect relationship.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Minister Israel, you want to jump on that one? I think you had touched a little bit on that too.
Yeah. So we need to understand that life is in stages. Amazingly, my generation, they are fighting so hard to believe that, right? Life is in stages, and so most of the people, our pastors, our mentors, the celebrities that we admire today, they started somewhere. They did not start immediately. Some of them, when you read through their interview, check through their stories, some of them, they are 20 years in marriage, they are 5 years in marriage. When you down to where they started, that's not where they are today. So I think our generation needs to understand, my generation, because I'm actually part of them, we should understand it's not ready-made. There's no marriage that is ready-made. They need to cook it. There is always a process. And for you to cook anything, it means you need to go to markets. It's a part of planning and strategy. You need to know the type of meal you even want to cook in the first place before you go to the market. And even when you get to the market, where you get all those ingredients, you come back to the house, go to the kitchen. You not just take it to the kitchen and say, food ready. No.
Right.
You need to cook it. You need to steam. You need to cut the vegetables. You need to fry. Like, before you have your meal ready, there is a lot of activity. And so it's marriage. Any marriage that we're celebrating today, go and check the foundation. There's a lot of work. There is someone that is forgiving. There is someone that is letting go of offenses. There is someone that is not fighting back. There is someone that is praying. Like anything you're celebrating today, just go and check it. Background, there's some work, there's some energy, because for every action, we are burning energy. For anything we are celebrating, some people are doing the work. And if you want anything to work, it means you need to put in the work, right? So we just admire. We should not just, we should admire, but we should understand that back-end support, something is working. Like there's this where we're running back in.
Right. And I think, you know what, now for us as, as children of God in Christendom, I think I've seen now that mentors, pastors, are being more intentional about talking about their journey. Like even where, like let's say where they maybe are used by God in the supernatural, right? Or even where maybe they have a large church, because all these things, trust me, a child of God is going to church. The average child of God, average Christian is going to church, and they're seeing and hearing, right? And I think there's been a couple of pastors who have been very intentional to say, I didn't start like this. We look at people like Bishop T.D. Jakes, or some of the African fathers of faith, Bishop Oyedepo, or we look at these just these men and women of God that God is using to do exploits. And they will tell you, a lot of them will tell you, we remember when we were only 5 church members, and the pastor doubled up as the usher, he doubled up as the drummer,
the prayer warrior, everything, all the job brought together.
Right. But then this generation, like you said, is looking at it, and all they're seeing is the finished product. They don't know about those yesteryears of humble beginnings, small beginnings, and they're looking at where they want to be, and they're like, well, look at pastor's wife. She always comes in dressed in a certain way. Heck, she changes her hair every week. You see, that's how my wife is going to be. Hello, do you have the income that pastor may have? And not all pastors get a salary from church. Some pastors are businessmen. They are businesswomen. They have, they have businesses that take care of their needs, right? So you can't look at that and be like, that's something that this generation, we really wanting the picture perfect without the work. You do get there. By all means, we're not saying despise the level of excellence. That's not what we're saying. We love the excellence, emulate it at the standard that you're at. Adam, I know you want to say something, but there's something that Pastor Fami Lazarus, bless him, I've listened to him a couple of times, and he says this: you've got to know the message for you in the season that you're in. So if right now God is putting you through long suffering, the message of excellence is not for you now. You understand what I'm saying? So you've got to understand where you're at right now in your journey with God, because if all you're listening to is excellence and all that, and look, excellence costs money, people of God. It does. And so here you are, you're thinking, well, I got to make sure I look like this. I got to wear this sort of thing. I've got to, appear a certain way, so on and so forth. Adam, jump in, girl. I know you want to say something. Go for it.
Oh, thank you so much, Mom. Okay, I think that a friend told me something recently. She said that, Atom, let's not struggle to live our 40s in our 20s. That means that there are some things that will happen to you when you are 40. Like there are some results you will have when you are 40 that you might not necessarily have when you are 20. Now, beating yourself up because you don't have those results now is your problem. And that's why a lot of us get depressed. You cannot say somebody that has been on the journey for 40 years or 60 years, you're going to have the same mentality as them, you're going to have the same knowledge as them as regarding that. Now, you pitching yourself against that person, of course, you're going to be depressed.
Yeah.
When did you start? I was watching something and Frank Donka was talking. I don't know if you know that comedian, the Frank Donka guy. And he was saying something about how he had been making videos 17 years ago. There was no social media, there was no Instagram. But he had learned since 17 years ago how to sit down in front of the camera and do it. So now that I'm just learning how to sit down in front of the camera and be natural. I want to compare myself to him. Of course, I will be depressed.
You're right.
Because over the years,
Right.
And again, I think that many of us don't like to hear it, but it's true. Relationship is work.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a serious relationship that you're trying to build. You're not trying to build something that is just, watching.
Yeah.
When it's not something that is watching that you're trying to build, it is expensive. It takes time. It takes effort. It's not one person effort. It's two people efforts.
Yeah.
Because this is to us ladies. I put myself on this table also. It's not one person effort. It's two people's effort. There is no let's talk about it. No, I don't want to talk about it. No attitude, please. Sit down there and talk about it. You understand? Because in relationship, you're figuring out each other. Those people that you see as picture perfect on the internet they've used some sort of nice foundation that they can stand on. That's why when you look at many celebrity marriages, because there's no real depth, real foundation, they break away like nothing happened. I remember this couple, these social media goals, relationship goals, couples, when they broke up, they found them actually beating each other up in an elevator. I'm like, what? And when you just look at the whole thing, it's because there's no real depth. They don't know each other that much. They've not bonded. The only thing they've been doing is let's wear this couple clothes and take pictures. Understand? All that can be fine. I'm not saying that the others are not fine. That can be fine. So make sure that you're doing solid work.
Yeah. You know that also stems from just the social media narrative that a lot of this generation is following. It's all about what has been said out there, and they're trying to keep up with that standard. Do you have a mistake that you want to highlight? I know we've talked about succumbing to internal and external pressure, picture perfect without the hard work, using sex as a tool to keep, that relationship. Have we missed something? What's another mistake, sir, that you feel singles are making?
All right, so we talked about treating marriage as if that's the end. Some people just want to get married, and so once they get married, they think, oh, all right, I'm married, and so that's the end. But the truth of the matter is actually just we said that marriage is work.
Yeah.
So it's not actually the end goal. It's the beginning of another work, right? And so a lot of things that singles are actually enjoying. There are a lot of privileges that we have because we are single.
Yeah.
If you get married, there are some of those benefits or privileges that you're going to share with somebody. Jokingly, I used to tell people that I can go to the market now, I can buy meat, I can buy fish, I can have everything to myself, right? But if I get married, I'm not going to have the old fish again. Someone is going to be fighting. Someone is going to be sharing the head of the fish with me. Someone is going to you don't have space again. But that is just on a life note. But much more than that, in marriage, right? You try to forgive. You need to forgive more than ever before, right? Because as a single person, you can interface with people. There's some form of distance because it's not everybody that is in your circle. But if you get married, you have somebody in your life, like in your life, every day, you turn to the bed like this, you see somebody, right? So marriage is work. And when I mean work, it's going to test everything from you, your relationship skills. So all of the relationship skills that we'll be learning over time, marriage is where you show it practically, right? We're going to know, okay, how much more? What do you actually, you're going to interface with somebody. And this is not just somebody that is different from you. This is an opposite gender. Because as a man, when you relate with a guy, there is still some form of friction that might be between you. But here is a lady, and as a lady, here is a guy. Being opposite gender already, there is a form of friction because when you're trying to understand the way we do things, our habits, the way we think is different, right? So when someone is now in your close circle, there are a lot of work to be done, really. I just hope single people understand it, that marriage is work.
Yeah, it's work, and it's not a prize that you possess and every day you're struggling to get there. However, I gotta say I get it where they're coming from with that kind of understanding, that kind of mentality. Again, it's sourced back to the pressure. Remember the pressure, the society pressure, the family pressure, the internal pressure. It's always going to be, when are you going to get married? So for a lot of singles, it is just that. It's like, it's it's the thing to get. I'm still a nobody. You can be as educated as you want to be, but you're still going to be, it's a thing. But can I bring in a mistake? Adam, you wanted to say something? Go ahead, sis. Don't let me cut you off. Go ahead. Before I bring in the other mistake I think singles are making.
I wanted to actually jump on what Minister Israel said.
Do by all means.
I was going to say that, you see how everybody, I'll just use this joke that I had Pastor Kingsley's wife using, Pastor Mildred. She said some people, after they asked them, will you marry me? They'll now collect the ring and start crying. She was like, please, when you were going into the relationship, what were you expecting before? Like, what exactly were you expecting? What were you expecting? And, she was laughing. But I think that many times when females hear about marriage, you just feel like, they've gotten to the bus stop, this is the end and everything. Meanwhile, you see, I have years ahead of you.
Yeah.
Long years ahead of you. So I think that it's not really a nice concept for us to always think that marriage is the end or is the final thing to the relationship. Because for me, I think I just see that like the relationship is just really starting.
Yeah.
Because this is when the bad habits of this person is going to be so pronounced. This is when the ideologies of this person is going to be so pronounced. This is when their spiritual defect is going to be so pronounced. Come on, there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of, balancing to get. And I think it's just time for us to start talking about it. So if you're on this call and you have been thinking like, let me just get married. God, let me just get married. I want you to know that, that's just the beginning. Like if God answered that prayer like this, it's the beginning for you. So, be prepared for the beginning.
Yeah. Totally. You gotta get off that thing about just it being a prize. But now I want to bring in this mistake that singles are making. And I think this one actually, I'm surprised, Adam, you haven't even mentioned this one yet, because this one you always be like, it makes you so mad. This is when people come on too strong. When a guy is coming on too strong, or even the girl is coming on too strong. This is where they come up with lines like, God said you are my husband. Like from, hi, how you doing? There's just no time to get to know you. It's just, God said you're my wife. God said you're, calm down, like Adam likes to say. I think that's a big mistake. Just don't do that. Do not do that. Adam, why does that bug you? Why does that bug you?
it is not intelligent. It is not an intelligent thing to do.
Okay.
An intelligent person knows that you don't meet somebody for the first time and say that God said that they are your wife, because you have to get to know the person.
Yes.
And just this thing is just simple intelligence. Like, how do you meet somebody for the first time and telling them that they should marry you?
Right.
Even if you want that somebody approaches that way, that please marry me because Jesus said, will you like it? Or are you expecting the person to just say, I think because Jesus has said, or are you expecting the person to just say, because Jesus has said, let the will of the Lord be done? Even God gave us free will. Even Jesus gave us free will.
Yeah.
So I think that it's just really not intelligent. I understand the space for after meeting this person, after working with this person for a while, after some interactions, you can now say that, what do you think? Oh, I think I'm sensing in my spirit that you're my wife. That is cuter.
Yeah.
Because there's already like there's a base, like I don't know what to call that.
You've gotten to know each other.
Thank you. How do you want to spend your entire life with somebody that you don't know? Because God said. Even wait, everything that everything that has dropped in your mind, be honest with yourself. Is it God that has said it?
I told y'all this girl is wise. She is so wise.
It's honesty now. Yeah. Be honest with yourself. It's not everything that drops in your mind that is God. And please believe me, some people have entered into this and they actually are blaming themselves for doing it. They're actually blaming themselves that they should have known better. You understand? Yeah. Because when it comes to two humans relating, it has to do with what they call it. It does not only have to do with God. It has to do with two of them. I was reading the scripture. I was listening to Pastor Irene, and he said that when an unbeliever and a believer actually get married together, he said that, and one of them, two unbelievers actually married each other, and one becomes a believer. He says that the unbeliever has the right to decide if he wants to stay in that marriage.
It's scriptural. Yeah.
It's scripture. So how much more Jesus' daughter? And you're not saying that she doesn't have the will to find out if her father is saying something. Please, let's do better. That's all I have to say. Let's do better.
Minister Israel, jump in before I make reference to one of our guests who actually had a God told me you are my wife moment, but we'll make reference to how well he navigated that. Jump in, Minister Israel. God bless you, sir.
All right. So for me, I believe any marriage, it's not even only marriage. Any decision we make based on prophecy, what it means that we need prophecy to sustain it. So go and tell somebody that God says you're my wife, then it therefore means you always need God to tell you, to tell them again that, oh, God said we should get married. Like God said we should have children. God said we should send our children to school. God said, like, you need prophecy to keep sustaining it, right? Yeah. So much more than the godly factor, there is a place for, an average man has both the spirit, body, and the flesh, right? The spiritual aspect, that's the area that we focus on, but that's not the man. That's not the entire being of a man. You need to appeal to their body. You need to appeal to the other side of them. And so that's why in church, we used to say that if you want to make decision of who to marry, you don't make decision on what people portray on Sunday or their activities in church, because that's just one of their life. Right. They have other segments. They have other aspects.
Sure.
More so, as human, we have preferences. We have what we like naturally. We have what tickles us. And every person wants somebody, like we have traits that we admire in the opposite gender. There are guys that lady that is bursty. There are some ladies that will tell you they like tall, dark, and handsome. That is what they like. You can't hold this against them. Right? So if you call me and say, God said, and I'm looking at you, you did not even resemble anything that God has told me. I mean, we should have a conversation. You can't just bully people and say, God said. If God said it to you are the one that he said it to. He has not said it to me. Right? So we need to give people time. If God told you somebody is going to be your wife, you pray to God that God should confirm it.
Yes.
So God confirms it and they have it, they decode the hand, so you're good. You don't bully people with God said. Like, this is one slang that has been bastardized in the community. And it's a sad one, really.
Yeah. You know, it's just the other day I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine, and she was so heartbroken because for about 8 years she battled with, or maybe I've got the number of years wrong, but she had something like that said to her in her younger days, as in younger years, and also younger in the Lord. Okay, so she's matured now, right? And that phrase, God told me you're my wife, nearly ruined her. Okay, so much so that even her going into a marriage now, she's, with a wonderful guy, they're getting to know each other. They've gone through the process of getting to know each other. They feel this is, something that God has blessed, and they want to get married. She almost had cold feet and wanted to pull out because she's thinking that God said. And I'm like, no, calm down. There's something you said last time, Adam, you said this whole God said thing can be a manipulation. And then another thing I've heard you, Minister Israel, say, it is a form of bullying. Quit that. Even if God has spoken to you, okay, the heavens opened and you had a moment like that, we see in Matthew 3 and is it Luke 3 as well, when Jesus is being baptized and we see the heavens open and the dove coming, speaking, God the Father is speaking and the dove is, we just see the Trinity present, and hear ye him, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. Listen. You do not need to tell that person God said. Do you know who I really respected? A former guest who really navigated that God said thing, and he truly heard God. And you could tell the fruits of that relationship, they truly heard God. That was the guys that we interviewed, Mr. and Mrs. Anointed, the couple that found each other on Facebook, finding love on social media. And y'all remember her? You remember that couple? And he told us that the moment there was just something in him, he really felt God saying to him, this is your wife. But she was in a relationship at the time. He never said nothing to her. He kept mute, kept praying. He continued to pray for her. That relationship she was in, it came to a natural end by itself, without him going in there acting like a fool and be like, you're dating my wife, do you know that no, come on. He was patient enough, and he saw that relationship. Through that relationship came to a natural end. They got into a friendship zone. It was in that friendship zone months later, after a year, that he was like, actually, I like you, and I was just wondering if we could get to know each other. He never even revealed to her that God had said until it was like time to get married. And we know, do you remember, Adam, I know you're going to come in here, but listen, I love what you always say any miracle that wants to happen before marriage, let it happen. Remember, they said their sickle cell, whatever, their blood group, type was incompatible. And because God had said that they belonged together, he went back to God. And he was like, God, you've already said this is my woman. You need to fix this situation. And they were healed. The blood type was changed miraculously. Adam, jump in, girl.
Okay, so I found this resource on Instagram and I would like to share it with you.
Yes, please.
So this lady, she said that even if as a lady you have heard that God said that a particular boy is your boy, keep praying to God about him. But on the other hand, also enjoy your other dating experiences.
Yes.
Like go on harmless dates.
Yeah.
In case he's not inclined to hearing God, so it will not be like you have wasted 10 years.
Right.
And please, God is always speaking. God can say somebody yesterday, and God can wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, this person said that he does not like you, that he likes somebody else, and he has gone for somebody else. So.
Right.
What will you do? So she said that it's okay for God to have said to you, but instead of now hanging your boots and say, I'm waiting for him, and being overly possessive. Because what at the end of the day, ladies get desperate when they hear the word and they're waiting so much and the person is not coming. You understand?
Yes.
Like, I understand that Bro Shadrach is the one that the Lord has revealed to me. Better calm down, start go on a date. Just go on those harmless dates. Meet other people. You understand? Enjoy other people. Don't put yourself on the shelf and say you are taken. You are not yet taken. Until the guy comes, you are not yet taken. So don't do that. Yeah. And I think that you should know that even if God says to you that somebody is going to be your person, the person has the will to choose you or not to choose you.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people, we undermine the power of choice. Yeah. That I choose you means that I have seen you, and regardless of what might happen, I want you. Right. Yeah, it is you I still want to follow. You understand? That's the power of choice.
Absolutely.
I see a lot of, I see a pool of people, but I am choosing you. You might not be the best among them. You might not be, you understand? You might not be the prettiest, but it is you I am choosing. It's a deep statement. Than just allowing, just going with the oceans and just going with the field, please. Amen.
Yeah. Amen to that. Minister Israel, get your dance on.
I love the way she put it, that you might not be the most beautiful, you might not have the most packaging, but I chose you.
Yes.
So it therefore means that in the pool of dating, there will always be multiple choice. I mean, it's like interview. I've always said it's just like interview. Recruiters want to employ 2 people for a role. There's 2 vacants, and you'll be surprised that they throw out the opportunity. Thousands of people will apply. The role is just for 2 people. Thousands of people will apply, and HR they'll do test again. They'll cut 500. They'll do test, cut 200 before they come down to those people that are qualified. Right? So somebody tell you that, God said, that's fine. But just go on your own dates. You can still go on a date. Go on a date with people. Just listen to them. Get to know them, right? Because with communication, there's always something to know about people. You always hear them and you know their value system, what they believe. You see possibility. Can I actually do life with these people? Can I do life with this person? Right? So people will always show up, like people will always come in your circle, but you always have to make decision. And your choice may not be about beauty, because beauty actually is different from each individual. What I call beautiful might be different from yours.
Absolutely. It's in the eye of the beholder. It's in the eye of the beholder.
That's why we have our personal taste. I said it earlier, there are some ladies, they just want the guy like this. Some guys, they want someone chubby. Some people want it slim. Some want everything. Like, we have our personal taste, and we can't exclude it, because that's what makes us. Because if we are not praying in tongues, not acting all spiritual, we are human. And the human side of us is needed in marriage too, because you'll be living together with someone.
Right, right.
Is attractive to you. I mean, there is no point for the marriage, really. If someone is not attractive to you, then why are you doing things together, right? So we always make decisions, and all of these factors, that those things that come together on the type of decision or who we actually want to do life with.
Yeah. You know what that reminded me of, and this may very well be the last mistake that we share because we're well out of time, is the show that we did a couple of weeks ago on the one. You know, when we were asking, has God just, designated just one individual, like, oh my God, and if you miss that person, are you doomed? Like, are you going to be single for the, oh my God, no. And I remember you said something pretty much similar to what you're saying, sir, that look, this whole marriage partner, it's a job role. And as the HR manager of your own life, you need to pick someone. You may need to interview a couple of people. You need to interview a couple of people and then make a choice who you're giving the job role to. And mind you, that's a permanent job role, or at least it's supposed to be a permanent job role. Adam, you want to jump in, sis? You want to say something before we bring this to an end?
So what I would like to say is that we tend to look down on the attraction when we are talking about marriage and everything, especially when Christians gather together and talk about relationship and marriage, they say God. But I think that there's a need for us to also talk about attraction. You can't put somebody inside the house and you not be attracted to the person. You have to genuinely like the person. You have to really genuinely like the person. And I know that the way we talk about marriage, sometimes it can breed fear in the heart of people. But I want you to know that that's not what we are trying to do. What we are trying to tell you is that this thing is serious, but at the same time, if you partner with the Holy Spirit, it is cake.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is take listen to advice and partner with the Holy Spirit, and also be the HR of your life.
Yeah.
Like, don't let somebody somewhere be the one directing you that you should be like this and everything. You are grown up. If you're going into a relationship, then that means that you are grown to a certain extent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. That's so good. So guys, listen, we want to leave it here. We may not be able to cover all the mistakes that we think singles make, but I tell you what, there's one that we may be able to bring in a guest for. We're not going to tell you which one, but we may very well have a guest who will be really, really someone who can pretty much share her life experience. Okay, so look out for that. We'll keep you posted, but for now we want to leave it here. We will be back next Saturday with a continuing topic on the joys and the woes of singlehood right here with my contributors. But for now, we are signing off. We are saying thank you and goodbye. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you next Saturday. Do hop over to YouTube and catch up with all the previous episodes. God bless you. Thank y'all. On behalf of myself, on behalf of Minister Israel, on behalf of Adam and the other contributors in Essential, we are saying thank you, Abenazane, goodbye, Kwaheri. How'd y'all say bye-bye in Nigeria?
It's bye-bye. It's Odabo. It's
Odabo. Okay. Odabo, everybody. So Kwaheri, Abenazane, au revoir. Goodbye. Ta-ra! We'll see you next week, guys. Love y'all.